Hey, Mark and Jenna back.
Hi. So, today we wanted to talk about some of the questions that we've been getting, things that couples are struggling with, and some of them are funny, some of them are not so funny. It's a hard day to do a video today. We are both exhausted. So, I guess, yeah, it's just one of those things. But if you're married, you know that these days come along when you're just burning the candle at both ends and you know
You just gotta go with it. And
man, it
so
was hard to get out of bed
sometimes,
this morning.
sometimes let her take a nap during the day, and sometimes she lets me go to bed early. So you try
Yeah.
to take it. I can't sleep in the sunlight, so she can
I
take a nap
love to
during the day.
sleep in the sunlight.
So
Like when I go to take a nap in the day, I open my curtains so that
I
but I
try to
don't
have it as dark as possible, so it works much better at night for me.
see. For me, if I sleep in the dark, I'm going to sleep too long. So
I
if
figure
I
that's
have
what
the
you need is
sunlight,
sleep. So you sleep until you wake up.
no.
That's probably how the body works. I'm
But
just saying.
I don't
So
have time for sleep. Sleeping is a waste of time. It has always been a waste of time. I only sleep like maybe 5 hours a night anyway. It's just,
I'm 10 years older than her, so being the old man, I need 7 to 8 hours of sleep.
but
That helps me be
can,
much more jovial and fun to be around.
he's fun to be around all the time. But can you
So
imagine if we didn't need sleep? Like, that would be awesome. Like, how much more we could get done if we didn't need sleep.
yep.
Yeah. Anyhow, okay. So go ahead and like and comment. We would love to hear your comments. We haven't been getting any comments. We've been getting a lot of views on our videos, and we
And we
have a
actually
couple of
have a bunch of subscribers, but
well,
nobody
like we
says
have like
anything.
19, but
Well, that's a bunch.
I mean, we're at the beginning of this,
That's more
so
than a dozen.
it's
So
it's
I mean,
more than we had the first day we started, so that's okay. So we'd like to encourage you to like and then share this video so that other people's
people's
I can't even
other
talk. I'm
people.
so tired. I can't even talk today. So that other people can also see it. I mean, maybe we could help a marriage or two while we're at this, and in this whole process of
That's
burning
our
the
plan is to
candle at
help
both
somebody.
ends, and you know, we're not doing this for income. We're doing this to help, just to help. So anyway, make sure that you like and share and subscribe. Yes, we don't have that many subscribers, but comment where you are. We would love to hear where you are, or if you have any questions. Today we're doing a question and answer. Did I say that right? I don't even know if
Yeah,
I'm
we've got one
talking
question that
right.
we're going to go over, which is kind of serious, because we think it's really serious. We've been through this in our marriage. We've both come to this point, but stuck it through. The question is: the spouse wants to leave. What do you do? Do you try to fix it, or you just let the spouse leave? And our opinion, having been there were times in our marriage early where she wanted to leave, and I didn't want to break up the marriage. I mean, it wasn't perfect. We were having troubles, but like we said earlier in previous videos, she had come from a house that both, they'd been
Lots of
divorced
divorce.
and two sets of step parents.
Yeah.
And I had come from a house of divorce, but it happened when I was very young, and my dad stepped in and took control, and he was my dad. My father disappeared. He passed away recently, and so my dad passed away a decade ago, a little over a decade ago. So you know, to me, it's marriage is about family, and you stick through it, and you stick together. And so when we were having tough times, like we said, the majority of our real tough issues were before we were Christian. So we've come to Christ. We still have our arguments and disagreements,
Oh, we
but
had
we
one
don't
the other
fight.
day.
I mean, we don't fight. We
No.
don't berate each other.
No.
I mean, that's a sure way to get your marriage to the point where somebody's going to break and want to get out.
Yeah.
You've got to be respectful. You've got to remember that even when you're pissed off and angry, Your spouse is your best friend. Yes, I know I said pissed again. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Don't say that.
So anyways, so when she's angry at me, I have to bite my tongue.
Upset.
And when I'm angry at her,
Upset.
we both
I'm joking.
we both tend to be much better. We don't call each other names like we used to in the beginning. And that's really important. And
unless it's punk. We call each other punks.
Yeah, sometimes.
But that's like, yeah.
And but I mean, that's the thing. You gotta be there for each other. I mean, in this day and age where there's so much divorce, it's accepted as divorce, but it's accepted that marriage is going to end in divorce, but it shouldn't be. I mean, we're in a society that's turned things around and upside down, and we've lost our way as a society. But as a couple, as a Christian couple, we still want to stay together. I anticipate that one of the reasons I married this woman is so that when we both die, we're still in heaven together. Because I want to spend the rest of my life and afterlife with her. I mean, and it's been tough sometimes, but she is my love. So.
And it's true. When we met and we were on our first date, he said he wanted to that he could see us growing old together and sitting on our front porch with our rocking chairs and laughing at each other as our bodies fell apart.
I just didn't know it was going to happen so soon.
And we have the front porch and we have our rocking chairs and we laugh at each other all the time because our bodies hurt. It's crazy, but that was like 20 years ago. So anyway, so one of these questions, like we said, is if your spouse wants to leave, do you fix it or do you just let them go? Surprisingly, how many people were asked? 42, right?
I think you said 42.
26, 36.
47.
47 out of
47 people responded.
Right. Don't knock over my tea.
Sorry.
47 people responded, and out of that, only 10 people said, you fix it. Only 10 people. That's surprising to me.
11 people said it depends.
It depends.
So I don't know if that depends upon whether you have kids, whether there's cheating involved.
It doesn't matter.
Whether there's abuse or what. But everybody has, apparently, when it comes to depending it, they have different levels of what they think is a reason to break off a marriage.
Right, but...
And 26 said walk away.
Just so like without even a fight.
Yeah.
Out of 47 people, 26 people just said, just walk away. And like without even a fight, at least the people who say it depends, at least they're going to consider it.
You get to that point. But fighting for the marriage, that's what's important, is fight for the marriage.
But one of the things is, in my opinion, if you say it depends, you're halfway out the door anyway. Do you agree?
Yeah, but I mean,
because that can't even be added to
But at least people are thinking about the possibility of staying together. I mean, you look at divorce rate in this country, and you're at over 50%, and here we have 26 out of 47 say just walk away. That's just right in line with the numbers of divorce, and that's the sad thing. Is it should be at 47 people, you should have 45, 46 at least to say, fix it.
Right, first. Right?
I mean, you should fix it. You should sit down with the individual, whether it's the husband or the wife, and find out why they want to walk away. What are you two doing that is not keeping that marriage together?
Right.
Because it's so much easier to have that discussion and to work it out in a reasonable, respectful manner and stay together and develop that loving relationship and friendship that's going to last a lifetime than it is to throw it all away and try to start over.
Yeah.
And then if you haven't fixed the problems from the first marriage, they're going to roll into the second marriage, and you're probably going to have a crummy second marriage.
And
if you don't end up with another divorce.
Mm-hmm.
So fix the first marriage. Find out what's going on so you don't have a second marriage. Just fix the first marriage. Find that thing that's driving the two of you crazy. I mean, stop with the name calling, stop with the yelling, stop with the abuse. Just find out what it is that you guys started dating for a reason. There was an attraction. There was enough of an attraction that you turned it into an engagement. And then after the engagement, you turned it into a wedding.
Wait 1 second.
So if you have that, look back and find out what it was. Look into yourself and find out what it was that attracted you to the other person, and work on that and rebuild the relationship. Don't throw it all away.
Are you saying that you only got engaged to me because you thought I was attractive?
No, you are attractive.
No,
you were attractive then, but you also, there's a lot of things other than just physical that I was attracted to.
Well, okay, that's a good answer. I can let that go. All right. So you got to know the answer that she wants to hear. Mm-hmm. Right? So, okay. So that was really surprising to me, though, that only 10%, that only 10 people said that they would want to fix it. However, with Mark, that wasn't surprising to you, right? Because
no, I mean, you just look at the rate of divorce in this country, and that's what I'm saying is it's become accepted in this country to divorce.
Right.
And it shouldn't be.
Right.
It should be the exception as opposed to the rule. I mean, you should be able to, if you love someone enough to marry them, you should be able to be committed to them to work on any relationship problems you have. Mm-hmm. And I mean, this day and age, there's a lot of problems that can pop up in a marriage, but if you're not willing to work it out with the one that you say you love, you're going to be very lonely the rest of your life. You need to take the time to work things out.
Yeah. I had a friend one time tell me that divorce is just off the table. It's not even an option. Whatever you're going through, take it off the table. I mean, for real. I mean, we've had so many issues, controversial issues of things that we've gone through in our marriage that most people would say, oh, that would be straight divorce for me. That would be a straight divorce for me. But it's like, how do you get to 42 years of marriage or 50 years of marriage if you quit? You don't. So, I mean, we've gone through like a lot of really, really big struggles that most people would say that you should have got divorced. Do you agree?
Yeah. I think we've been through a lot of the same things that couples go through, but we've worked it through.
Right.
I mean, because it's not like we're abnormal. I mean, we
I don't think we're abnormal. I think we're weird.
Yeah.
And like,
but I mean, corny, in a marriage,
but
a lot
I
of
don't
the stuff
think
we've gone through is the exact same stuff that everybody else goes through.
Yeah. So
you know,
I think communication is a really big part of it. Mark and I had an argument this week, and it was just a miscommunication. Like, I was really offended by something that he said, and he was offended by my response to it. Right. So like, we went like almost a whole day just sulking and pouting at each other, right? And then
the electronics didn't help. I text her to tell her I still love her and everything, and then I text her an hour later, and then I text her an hour later, and she came home all pissed off, all upset at me that I'd never even made an attempt to talk to her. And I was like, well, I texted you 3 times and you never responded, so I assumed you were mad at me. It's like, oh no, I never got your text. So
it went to the wrong account. It was on the Facebook Messenger on my other messenger, right?
And I don't know from day to day which one she's using. So I text the one I've been texting for the last 3 weeks.
Right.
All of a sudden she's, no, I'm not using that one anymore.
No, okay. But it's not like that. I think the important thing here to talk, whatever. The important thing here
I have one account.
Is, okay, one account, blah, blah, blah. Anywho, so I think the important thing that happened was there was this miscommunication. So we got upset at each other that morning, and then he texted me to try and, tell me that he loves me and so on and so forth. I never got it. So by the time I got home, I was like, wow, like he just didn't even try the whole day, which, any couple that has been together for more than 5 minutes knows that just puts like all this stuff called gasoline on the argument. And then
and if you're texting the one you love and they're totally ignoring you, that kind of
could do it too, right? Because he thought I was ignoring him and I thought he was ignoring me, but yet he was trying to reach out. And had I seen that, then maybe I wouldn't have been so upset when I got home. But either way, so we wound up talking about it, and we had a really good discussion. Like, we went out to dinner, we dropped our kids off at their sports, and we went out to dinner and we talked about it, and everything was fine. And it was like, Wow, I really like talking to you. I like it a lot better than not talking to you. I know that may sound weird, but I do. He's my best friend. So anyway, okay, so that was that question. I love this question, and I don't know if you had said that you wanted to do this question or not, but I want to do this question.
Okay. Well, you've got a list of like
Okay.
15 questions here, and I don't know which one
Well,
you're
and
going
then we
through.
have these questions.
That's like
here
when somebody
too.
goes, "Oh, have you heard this story before?"
Well,
I don't know. Tell me the story. I'll let you know.
Okay. We talked about some of the questions that we were going to talk about because some of them are going to make really long videos and some of them need to be grouped together, and we'll do more videos on those. And then some of them, they need, we would need to put a little warning at the beginning of like, make sure your kids aren't around because we're going to talk about adult stuff. And we will do that video, just not in this video. So we will give you the warning first before it gets a little inappropriate for small ears because, okay. So anyway, but
those are the things that you have to talk about in marriage.
You do, and we want to talk about those with you.
We want to help everybody we can.
Difficult.
So some of those subjects need to be talked about.
Yeah.
So what is the question you want to go to anyway?
Okay, so I like to go to a number of people asked, can your spouse cook? And so I want to answer this question because my spouse, that guy right there, is an amazing cook. He is like,
it helps that my last name is Cook also. So
I don't think that has anything to do with it because I also think you're a great baker. So it could have been baker and you could have been fine. Anyway, so one of the great things about his cooking is that he can make a meal. And I love to brag about this because I've just experienced this recently since he's been home now and we've just and I've gone back to work and like he's doing more of like the home stuff and cooking and, working on his book and so on and so forth. I absolutely love that he can cook a meal and then we will have leftovers from that. And then the next day he will take those leftovers and he will turn them into something entirely, completely different, like in a whole different level. Like for instance, I think it was last week, he did, what's that Japanese hibachi stuff? He did this chicken and peppers and vegetables and rice and stuff, and we put yum yum sauce on it. It was fabulous. And it was like Japanese hibachi. It was so good. I kid you not. The next day, and he did so great. The next day, he took the chicken that was left over and the peppers and the onions and the rice, and he flavored the rice with a Mexican flavoring, and then he flavored the chicken, and all of a sudden we had fajitas, and it was like a Japanese to Mexican. It was fabulous with the leftovers. And then I tried to get all fancy the next night, and I was like, well, if he can do it, I can do it. And it was awful. So I took hardly. So I took the chicken and I took the peppers and I took the rice and I put them in a casserole and I put cheese in it. And I thought I made like a Mexican cheesy casserole thing. I don't think anybody ate it.
I ate it.
Did you eat it?
Yeah, it was good.
I made a whole tray of it. And
she's a really good cook, but she doesn't
do it from scratch.
Yeah, she does it better from scratch or from a recipe.
Thank you.
And she does that very well. I do have to
joke and kid her.
Have to joke and kid with her because when I first met her, she didn't own a cutting board. She didn't have a timer, and I explained to her that the smoke detector doesn't count as a timer.
This is true.
So when the smoke detector goes on, it doesn't mean that dinner's ready.
It was so awful. It was so awful. I remember, I thought I was being all fancy and cooking us a nice dinner. Well, a couple of times. I can tell you a couple stories about this. But I remember one time I thought I was being so fancy. So I got fettuccine noodles. And I cooked them. And I got a jar of fettuccine sauce. And I just fried up some chicken breast. And I dumped the
sauce.
the sauce in the noodles and just put the chicken in there. And I thought I was being all fancy and cooking us a nice dinner and everything. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. On nights when I don't have time to make sauce from scratch or anything
But
like
she
that.
makes an amazing Alfredo sauce.
Thank you.
It's
I make
so
it from
good. I
scratch
wanted it for
now.
my birthday dinner.
Yes.
So,
And yeah. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. I love to make Alfredo sauce. But now I know how easy it is. We don't even buy the jar anymore. But anyway, so I thought I was making this really fancy dinner and I was so proud of myself. And I just poured it, like I didn't even cook the sauce. I just poured it on the noodles. And then I served it and it was lukewarm. And I felt so bad because I thought I was such a good cook. That this was such a good cook. And then one time when we were dating, now I am not allowed to do this at all over the last 20 years. One time when we were dating, I thought I was going to make him like this meatloaf. And I had never done it before. But I thought I mean, how hard is meatloaf, right?
Hers
Apparently
was really
for
hard.
me, even 20 years later, I am not allowed to make meatloaf. It's awful. But this one time, I put all these, I don't even know what kind of spices it was. It was like some packet, and I'm like, oh, I'll put some of this and put some of that. And I baked it. I kid you not. Like, I almost broke my knife trying to cut it, the knife. And did you even eat it? I think you tried to eat it, right?
I tried eating it.
Then, once we're secure in our relationship, for the next 20 years, I just hear about how it can break a window and how hard it was like a brick. And my kids don't even like my meatloaf. And I've tried it a couple
the daughters
times.
weren't
So
even around when the meatloaf was made, but the
not
son
bad.
made such a stink that they make fun of it now too.
They do.
So.
They do. And I've tried to make it and like follow recipe with the meatloaf. And I can't. So I can cook some things, but there are some things that I am just
baking
not
is
allowed
not
to
her
cook.
forte.
Baking
Baking is not
nope.
her thing. Not.
I can
she
make
does some amazing zucchini bread
I can make
and cinnamon rolls,
oh,
but
thanks.
she does not. She doesn't understand. She was gonna make cookies for our
my
daughter,
lovely.
and it was the roll cookies you get from Pillsbury.
Oh, for her school.
And she
needed
that
cookies
up
for school. Yes.
Because she didn't understand the whole concept of preheating the oven. So she cut the cookies, put them on the tray, put it in the oven, and turned it on. And the cookies were about paper thin, and 6 of them covered an entire tray, an entire baking tray. They were about that thin, and
I cut them with a pizza roller. They were like cookie bars.
They weren't even cookie bars. They were like paper thin.
It's not that I don't.
They just melted because they didn't have the time to bake.
They tasted good though. They tasted good, but
by the time the oven was beeping that it was up to temp, you're like, oh, they're done.
This is true. This is true. But they tasted good, and it's not that I don't understand the concept of preheating.
You didn't then.
It's not that I don't understand the No, there's a difference between understanding something, like the concept of something, and then just not knowing, okay? Like, I just didn't know. And then I've tried to bake cookies for him before because he used to have this cookie business and baking. And he was so tired. He was working so much, and we had like 1,200 orders, and so I thought I would help him. So I made like a quadruple batch of these cookies that everybody loves, right? And
it was an expensive cookie.
It was a very expensive cookie. Yes, with a lot of ingredients. And
she forgot an ingredient. And they did not.
Do you want to tell this story?
She couldn't figure out why the cookies wouldn't stay together and why they didn't taste good. And it was because she forgot to put flour in them.
I did.
So this quadruple batch didn't make anywhere near the number of cookies it was supposed to. It didn't taste right.
No.
And it was just a fiasco.
But I didn't realize, thank you, baby. I didn't realize that I had forgotten the flour and that something was wrong until like the 5th tray that I'm pulling out of the oven, and I'm like, something's not right here. And so I called him at work and I said, something's not right with the cookies. And he goes, well, did you put this in? Did you put this in? I put everything in. Like I was very careful to make sure that I was doing this because I am awful at baking. I know this. I was just trying to help him. So I was trying to be extra super careful. I was even measuring. Usually I don't measure when I bake, which may be part of the problem. I don't know. Everybody says you got to measure because it's about chemistry and stuff. Like, I don't know. I like earth science. So anyway, but either who, so yeah, I forgot the flour. And it was a lot of money wasted.
They didn't turn out well.
No. And I couldn't even add the flour at that point because we just
she couldn't remember how many batches she made, and it was just
no. I like quadruple the batch or something like that. Okay. So yes, my spouse can cook. I can sort of cook sometimes. It depends on what it is. So
she's good at making reservations for dinner.
That's not even funny.
Yes, it is.
That's not even funny.
She cooks very well.
No. I don't make reservations.
See?
I mean, it's so rare, and we don't even go out to eat that much or anything like that. I mean,
we're a little town with like 6 restaurants, anyways.
Yeah. So okay. So next question. Oh my gosh, we're not even recording.
It's counting down.
Oh,
it's recording.
My bad. I thought we had just wasted a whole video.
No,
I need a nap. Oh, look
recording.
at that.
It's got 27 minutes.
My bad.
We should wrap it up.
We're going to wrap it up. We'll do another question here. Hold on. Oh, but these are the fun questions. We'll answer these kind of fast. We'll try. Okay. All right. What side of the bed do you sleep on? Doesn't matter.
Sleep on my side.
Oh, you're so smart. You're so
my side is usually by the door. That's
why.
It's from when I was a little kid. My dad always slept by the door. It was to protect my wife and family. I'd be the first one killed if somebody comes in.
Well, you can put it like that. I mean, okay. What if one night you came in and I switched sides? How would you feel about that? How would you handle that? If I didn't even say anything, if I was just sleeping on your side of the bed?
Well, if it was at the house, I would just get on your side of the bed, snuggle up to you.
Well, what if we had somebody break in that night and kill me?
Well, then you would have learned your lesson.
Touche. Okay, next question. Okay. Do you share your pillow?
Not typically by choice, but often I find her pillow right here. So.
I don't remember that. I do not like to share my pillow. My pillow is nice and fluffy. And his used to be nice and fluffy, but I can tell when he changes the sheets and I don't get my pillow back.
I try to make sure
and
it's
I don't
the right
like
pillow,
it.
and if I make a mistake, it's whatever.
I know.
Because we got the same pillowcases, so she can just grab whichever pillow she wants.
His head is
not all that wordy. She says I have a Charlie Brown head. So.
But I mean that in a very sweet way. It's just his head makes his pillow squishier. I like mine fluffy. So no, we do not share our pillows. Okay. How do you feel about sharing toothbrushes?
No, I'm not a fan of sharing toothbrushes.
What if it was an emergency?
That's different.
No, it's not.
Oh.
You never share a toothbrush. Ever, ever, ever. Even in an emergency. You go outside and you get a twig and you can brush your teeth with a twig. Don't share toothbrushes. That's gross.
I mean, it depends upon how bad the emergency is.
It doesn't depend.
I wouldn't necessarily want to share her toothbrush. I mean, there's certain things that it's okay.
Yes.
I don't share her hairbrush. I have my own. This long flowing hair, I have to take care of it.
It's so nice because I don't need to worry about him taking my rubber bands and my ponytails either. So, That's a good tip for marriage right there. Don't keep your hair the same length, because then you
Okay.
have to share that kind of stuff. But sharing toothbrushes, I think that's from both of us. That's a no. No, don't share a toothbrush. That I mean,
Fork
I
is as much
suppose
as close as you go. If you're giving your wife a taste of your dinner, you can give her your fork.
oh,
That's it. But nothing.
you had a friend that was like freaked out about sharing chapstick with his wife. We don't need to say his name. But how do you feel about sharing chapstick?
I'm fine with it.
I'm fine with
Maybe
it.
kiss.
Right.
And transfer and share chapstick that way anyway. So
Chapstick, yes. Toothbrush, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Usually the lipstick she wears isn't my color, so I have to wipe it off.
I wear your lipstick usually. So, okay. And then I kiss him and then he has to wipe it off his mouth. Okay. How do you feel about your wife moving the furniture?
For the longest time, that's all she would do. It was, hey, hon, I have an idea. Let's change the room around. It seemed like it was every 2 or 3 weeks we were moving furniture around. So I'm not a fan of moving furniture.
I moved furniture without you too, though.
Mm-hmm.
Quite frequently when we were first together.
Yeah.
And, I was trying to figure out where I wanted everything to go. I think in this house, I don't think I've moved furniture that much. We've moved our bedroom. Okay, maybe a little bit.
I mean, we're on our fifth couch?
We've
been in the house for 2 years and we're on our 5th couch.
Okay. So. All right. Okay. See, I was going to say that we've only moved the couch twice, but I was thinking of the one that we have right now. And but we've only had it like 2 years or a year and a half. How many?
Do you want to know the exact time everyone wants to move furniture? My wife and my daughters. As soon as you've painted the rooms. Once the rooms are painted, then they want to move everything. They're very happy with the room the way it is. Then you move everything out, paint it for them, put everything back. They want to change rooms. They want to change furniture, whatever. Almost every time.
Every time.
We are currently in my oldest daughter's former bedroom.
She's not your oldest. She's the second from the youngest.
She's my middleest child.
The oldest one that we have at home.
Yes.
Currently. Because they've all moved out except 2.
So.
But we could do a whole video on that. We love them, but we only have 2 more. We're already talking about our lake house, our retirement place, right? So, yes. Okay, so.
With tents. They will have tents.
Oh, yeah, tents for the kids, not for us.
Yes.
No.
We'll have the nice house.
We get the house.
They can come visit. They'll set up a tent. They'll get tired of camping for less than a week and go home.
That's the part he's looking forward to.
I love my kids.
Oh.
But there's a point at which it's time for them to grow up, move on, move out.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So.
I just asked him if we could adopt another one a couple months ago. We're not doing that. So she was really cute and 7. Okay, so how do you feel about holding your purse when I'm shopping?
Holding my purse when you're shopping?
No, holding my purse when I'm shopping.
I couldn't care less. I have my man card. I don't need to worry about anybody. I got my wife. I got my woman. I don't need to impress anybody.
You got a wife and a woman?
Yeah, my woman, my wife.
Oh, one person.
Yes.
Better
my
be
all-inclusive. My everything.
I love you. Okay.
Love you too.
Do you ever get any weird looks or anything?
Only when I'm messing around with you. I put it on my person's shoulder and just look beautiful. Make sure it goes with my outfit.
Oh my goodness. We went into McAllister's the other day and I had one of my big purses and we had our cards and stuff in it because our girls were at volleyball. So we were just going to McAllister's to have tea and play cards while we were waiting for the girls. And I had my big purse and we had all of our games and stuff in it. And he started doing this really loud as we were walking in. Like I have my purse and he had my other purse. And he was doing this funny, Do you ever get funny looks from people when you're walking around with your wife's purse?
I don't know. I don't pay attention. I don't care.
Okay. All right. Would you suggest that that's okay to do for other husbands to
I don't
carry their
know.
wife's
In
purse?
today's society, they might not even get a second look. Who knows?
Or even go shopping, right? Like, let us know. Does your husband go shopping with you? So these are some of the questions that we've got. We have many more, so we'll do another episode or thing on questions and answers. Our life has changed a little bit more since the last time we did our video. So we are going to be uploading videos on Saturday mornings now. And yeah, so that's when we're going to do it. So you can go to our Marriage Exposed YouTube channel and find our new videos Saturday morning. When you guys get up, and then maybe you can have coffee together and, you know, watch a video together or something like that. So, and like we said before, go ahead and comment and like and share to your friends. So I think that's it. Do you have any questions that you would like to, you think guys are asking or wondering?
Off the top of my head. I have to think about that.
Okay.
All
right. Well, you guys be blessed, and we will see you next week.
Bye.